Hey, I'm Manny Delacruz. I have a 2001 Chevy Tahoe LS, and the problem that I had was that the defroster wasn't working inside the car. When you turned it from the heater vents on the front of the dash console and turned it to defrost, the air wouldn't blow out of the defrosters onto the windshield, and so my car was fogging up. And I got a bunch of kids, and you know how they jibber jabber and fill the car with hot, humid air. And I live in the state of Utah where it's cold in the wintertime. So again, I was fogging up everything. I couldn't live with that. So um, what I did was I did some troubleshooting on it, and I went to a bunch of different forum websites. It seems like there's no information on how to fix this particular problem. So I'm gonna tell you how. Basically, the first part that you're gonna need, and this is uh, this is a again a 2001 Chevy Tahoe LS. I don't know if this applies to the 2002 or the 1999 or the 2000, but I know for a fact that in the 2001 model, if you can't turn your defrosters on, it's something that's sold by Dorman called a blend door actuator. Uh, 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 it's also called a mode door actuator. But I'm going to give you the exact part number that you need because I bought one of these things over at like a like an auto supply store. I won't name the brand, and they have a generic blend door actuator for GM parts, and it is not the correct one. It looks exactly identical, but it's not the correct one. And what ends up happening is when you go to install it, which is a giant pain in the ass, when you go to install it, the way that you discover that it's not the correct one is when you turn, well, in my example in particular, when you turn it from defrost to blow in the vents, and then back to defrost, it's exactly opposite. So when you're on defrost, it's blowing in the vents, and when you're on the vents, it's blowing in the defroster, and that's fine if you don't care that it doesn't map correctly on your little freaking thing. But I do because I'm a little bit obsessive about that. Oh, and the foot warmer vents don't work at all when you have the wrong part. So I went out and I got the right part, and I'll show you where it goes and how I got it out, and without pulling out the dashboard. I mean, it very important detail. Okay, this is the correct part that you need if you have this particular problem. That is to say, if your defroster isn't working, it's only blowing air out of your heater vents. It is a Dorman 604-113. Don't get anything else. Okay, this is the old one that I pulled out. It was a giant pain in the butt to get out, and I'll show you why in a second. But there's a couple of important details. If you buy a blend door actuator and it has anything other than a metal doohickey, send it back, because the plastic ones, from what I understand, are the blend door actuators that don't work with this particular model of car, which is again a 2001 Chevy Tahoe. All right, I'm going to show you exactly how I got it out. So I'll show you where it is first. Now, if you've never done this before, don't panic. It's really easy. There's some trim that goes around your dash cluster here, and it pops right off. There's no screws that hold it in. It's pretty awesome. This is what it looks like. There are a couple of important things to remember when you're trying to pull it off. What you'll need to do is there's a couple of important things to remember. You'll need to lower your steering wheel, because when it's up, it holds the binnacle, not the binnacle, the trim in place. So there's a button you pull it up, and that lowers your steering wheel. And then the other thing is this shift lever. You're going to need to turn the car on, put your foot on the brake, and lower this all the way down to first. And then you'll be able to pull that dash trim out. And then the second thing that you'll need to remove is the kick plate right here underneath the dash. And that's this thing right over here. I'm going to show you. And that is held in place with two screws at the bottom on left and right. Left, right? Don't pay any attention to the black thing. That's a trailer brake. Once you pull those screws, it's held in place right here and on the other side of the steering wheel right here. And then the kick plate's out of the way. Okay, it's very important that you remove that kick plate. If you don't remove the kick plate, you're not going to be able to get your hands inside to where this stupid mode door blender is. Mode blender? Anyways, I'll show you where it goes. Okay, so I'm crawling into the car, underneath the dash. I'm looking underneath. As you can see, there's my pedals. Okay, there is a vent when you first poke your head down under here. This is for the air. And as you can see, maybe you can't see, but anyways, it's up in here. It just slides off. Pull it down and out of the way, and then you'll be able to see up in here where that mode blender is installed. Okay, a couple of important things. There's a screw on the bottom of the blender. Pull that out of the way. Okay, there's a screw right, I don't know if you can see it, flashing up. It's right under there. It's right in the center of the screen. That's one. And there's another one at the top that you can't see. You can see a little divot on top of the actuator. And in that divot is another screw. There's two screws that hold this stupid thing into place. The first screw is pretty easy to get out. I hooked it up to, I used a, what do you use here? Where'd this go? I used this thing. It's a socket. Hold on. Oh, well, that's weird. Anyways, it's a socket. And it is 7/32. And those will remove the two screws. And I was able to hook this up to the end of this doodad. A little 1/4 inch adapter, a universal joint, and then another 3/8 chuck that goes into my drill, which is a Ryobi rechargeable drill. And I was able to remove that bottom screw using all of that. The second screw that's hidden up top, you can't get access to it using a drill. You've got to use a 1/4 inch adapter that fits inside your 7/32 drill, or I'm sorry, socket. And then you use a 1/4 inch wrench to, well, first of all, you use your right hand and you reach, you're laying on your left side, and you reach through the front of the dash where that kick panel was, and you hold this in place, and then you very patiently take your dang 1/4 inch wrench and turn it and turn it and turn it and back it out slowly. And that's what you do. And once you've got those two screws removed, and you've unplugged the actuator, there's a plastic plate behind it that has some gears on it. I strongly recommend that you hold that in place. You know, really, you really want to listen to me here. Hold that in place, and then back the actuator out of the bottom of the dashboard. The problem is that this is the orientation of that it's installed in, right? And if you just pull on the actuator, you're going to pull that stupid black geared plate off, and all the little flappy bits that are inside your dashboard are going to be, let's just say it's going to be really hard to put back the way that you found it. So you want to pull, what you want to do is you want to separate this actuator from that plate. Do you understand me? Separate the actuator from the plate and pull it out and hold the plate in place. And then take your new actuator and then slide it on to the shaft that goes through this middle thing. And off you go. And then reassembly is everything in reverse. Okay. It's going to take forever. I figured, half an hour for this job. It ended up taking me 2 hours. First of all, I had to figure out, and that's once I figured out where the actuator was. The problem is that you can't use normal tools to back that top screw out. You just can't. It's in an awkward place. There's another piece of structure that's in the way, and you have about half an inch to work with. So forget trying to slip a normal socket set in there or any of that crap. It's just freaking impossible. The other thing to remember is that I would install the bottom screw first and plug it in, and turn your car on, and then do some tests before you try to put that top screw in, because you're going to be on your side for 10 minutes turning this with a wrench. It's going to suck. Last little tidbit. Oh, yeah. The brand new replacement part that I got. Oh, it's right here. The brand new replacement part that I got, it looks identical to this, except it didn't have any stickers on it, and it had a metal piece. But I can't show you on the inside of this stupid thing, but it's got some, I don't know if I can show you. You see how it's got a little bit of teeth on the inside of that metal thing? The brand new replacement part had brand new teeth on it, I guess, and those teeth don't actually grab anything. As you can see, there's a flat-sided thing there's a molded shaft that's on that black gear thing that fits in there. The teeth don't do anything. So what I did was, when I was trying to install it, because the teeth were new, it wasn't exactly a perfect fit, and I couldn't get the new actuator on. What I ended up doing was taking a drill bit and knocking those teeth down. I just got a drill bit that was exactly the width of the old one, and the drill bit fit inside the old one, but didn't fit inside the new one. So I drilled it out. I used a drill bit. Let me show you the drill bit. I can't tell you the drill bit size. You're going to have to size it yourself. But I drilled those teeth out. Those teeth don't do jack. I don't know why they're there. Maybe there's another vehicle that doesn't have the flat-sided doohickeys and uses teeth instead. But in the Chevy Tahoe, that back plate is smooth as a baby's butt. And those teeth don't do anything. And in fact, they decrease the diameter of the hole so the shaft doesn't fit inside. So, in closing, you might have to use a drill bit to widen out that hole, just a tiny, tiny bit. But anyways, once you put it all back together, and you determine that it works by turning your car on and cycling the air back and forth between the defrost and the vents and the bottom vents, then you put that top screw in, because you're going to, like I said, it's a nightmare. You're going to be on your side for 10 minutes. Anyways, reassembly, it's just the exact opposite of the reverse of the taking apart. You put the kick plate in first, then the trim, and then clean up, you're done. All right, thanks for watching. Hope this helps.